Queen Margrethe II of Denmark recently made the decision to strip 4 of her grandchildren of their royal titles. From January 2023, the children of the monarch's youngest son, Prince Joachim, will no longer be called prince or princess but instead, Count or Countess of Monpezat, the birth title of her late husband, French-born Prince Henrik. It has provoked emotional reactions from her relatives, including the prince, his wife Princess Maria and Prince Nikolai, one of Joachim's sons from his first marriage. However, while Margrethe has since apologized for upsetting members of her family, she has refused to change her mind. The Queen's decision has thrust the Danish royal family into the spotlight of the world media as attention is drawn to those who have both lost and maintained their titles. While Prince Joachim's children's titles have been relinquished, the children of his older brother, Crown Prince Frederik, have held onto their princely styles. It is not the first time the two couples have been on the opposite sides of a royal rift. Long before the well-documented rift between Britain's Prince William and Prince Harry, Joachim and Frederik endured a strained relationship with tensions coming to a head when the younger brother relocated overseas in 2019. And the rift reportedly extended beyond the princes to include their partners, with Princesses Maria and Mary clashing over their husbands' royal destinies. Brothers were at just over 1 year apart, Frederik, 54 and Joachim, 53, have long been competitive with one another, but there is no changing royal fate, with the elder brother destined to take on the top job as king. It has been reported that Joachim has held a grudge over his brother's future role, having apparently been frustrated by Frederik's lax attitude toward his duties, according to a 2020 report in New Idea magazine. A wedge was supposedly driven between the two brothers during their childhood when future monarch Frederik was favored as he was prepped and primed for his rule. The tension seemingly continued into adulthood until their relationship appeared to reach its breaking point when Joachim and his family moved out of the country. Read more, It's Been Done Before. How British Royal History Puts Meghan and Harry title row to bed. The Danish royal family have been thrust into the spotlight following the Queen's recent title cull. Image, Getty Images. Frederik and Joachim's relationship been strained in the past. Image, Getty Images. The brothers, pictured with their parents in 1972, are just 1 year apart. Image, Getty Images. New portrait of King Charles III on 50p unveiled by Royal Mint. King Charles III will become the first king to appear on British coins since the Queen ascended the throne in 1952. His portrait will appear initially on special £5 crown and 50p coins in honour of the late Queen's life, before expanding to commemorative coins and general circulation. Take a look here. In February 2019, Joachim, his second wife Princess Maria and his 4 children, Princes Nikolai, Felix and Henrik and Princess Athena, moved to Paris, France. Joachim shares 2 of his children, 13-year-old Henrik and 10-year-old Athena, with his current wife, Marie. Nikolai and Felix were born to Joachim and his first wife, Alexandra, Countess of Frederiksborg. The family were expected to live in the French capital until 2020 while Joachim studied at the Centre des Hautes Études Militaires. The additional training in France supplements Prince Joachim's current post in the Danish defence, where the prince is a special advisor to the Chief of Defence in relation to the reserve since 2015, the Danish palace said in a statement at the time. However, the royal later announced his new role as a defence attaché at the Danish embassy in Paris, which is where he still works today. Joachim has 4 children, Nikolai, Felix, Henrik and Athena. Image, Getty Images. The two couples reunited in Paris in October 2019. Image, Getty Images. It has been reported that the brothers resolved their differences in the years after Joachim moved away, with the pair reuniting on a handful of occasions. They reconciled for the first time months after, in October 2019, when Frederick, Joachim and their wives were spotted embracing each other, with the future king telling local press it was great to see his only sibling. However, fast forward 3 years to the present day and tensions appear to be brewing once again. Amid the fallout of Queen Margrethe's decision, Joachim told BT his relationship with his brother is complicated. And the description extended to his and Marie's relationship with Crown Princess Mary, who came out in public support of her mother-in-law's move while speaking in Copenhagen on Friday. She told Danish news outlet Extra Blade that while change can be extremely difficult and can really hurt, this does not mean that the decision is not the right one. Marie vs. Mary shares 4 children with her husband Frederick, Prince Christian, 16, Princess Isabella, 15, and 11-year-old twins Princess Josephine and Prince Vincent. The pair are the rightful heirs to the Danish throne, but in April 2018, reports suggested that Princess Marie was not pleased with the royal future she faced. Frederick and Mary have 4 children: Christian, Isabella, Josephine and Vincent. Image, Getty Images. Trending. A royal insider told New Idea at the time, "There is a serious war behind palace walls in the Danish monarchy and it's got to the stage where the whole royal family is at crisis point." Marie knows full well that when Queen Margrethe steps down, then Princess Mary will become queen, and that makes her blood boil. However, soon after Joachim and Marie moved to Paris, any hopes of a more involved role within the monarchy were snubbed when Queen Margrethe passed on some of her power to Princess Mary. In a historic move, the monarch appointed her daughter-in-law as regent, enabling the Tasmanian-born royal to act on her behalf at official events when she is unable to attend. It came a few months after a royal insider hinted to New Idea magazine that the Crown Princess was already the de facto queen in many people's eyes. Now, Margrethe has put further focus on the direct line of succession, namely the Crown Prince and Princess and their children. But Marie has made it clear that she stands with husband Joachim's stance on the monarch's decision and has spoken out herself about the upset it has caused her family. Don't miss Harry snubbed William's offer of crisis talks over leak fears King Charles to host South Africa's Ramaphosa in first state visit. Thousands of messages sent to King Charles III after Queen's death. Don't miss Harry snubbed William's offer of crisis talks over leak fears King Charles to host South Africa's Ramaphosa in first state visit. Thousands of messages sent to King Charles III after Queen's death. Mary, front, and Marie have reportedly clashed in the past. Image, Getty Images. Last week, she told BT that her children had been thrust into the spotlight as a result of the shock announcement, saying, "They come and say, to Athena, is it you who is no longer a princess?" The children were publicly exhibited at very short notice. This means that we, as parents, have not had time to prepare them for the change and people's reactions. She went on to acknowledge that her and Joachim's relations were strained with Frederick and Mary. When asked whether they had spoken to the Crown Prince and Princess, Marie replied, "No," and, in agreement, Joachim added, "No, unfortunately." Joachim went on to reveal that they had not yet spoken to Queen Margrethe, adding, "It's also family. Or whatever we want to call it." Princess Marie added, "We would have liked to have had time to talk about it." As of last week, Joachim claimed he and his brother had not spoken. Image, Getty Images. Fatal royal rift caught on camera but Kate tries to save the day. Obvious tension. Meghan Markle, Prince Harry, Kate Middleton and Prince William were once known as the Fab Four. But as Meghan and Harry were back in the UK this week, body language expert Judy James looked back to a tense moment of the formerly Fab Four caught on camera. Read more here. Marie's claim that Athena had been bullied at school has been described as an attack on her sister-in-law, who has been advocating against bullying for at least a decade through her work with the Mary Foundation. BT journalist Jacob Heinel Jensen, who spoke to the couple outside their apartment in Paris, suggested the comments had been carefully chosen. He said, "I cannot interpret it as anything other than an attack on Crown Princess Mary. It was a direct message." Marie has had several days to think about what she wanted to say after it emerged that the titles had been taken from the children. So it is probably carefully selected. It is clear that when she takes something as bullying and deliberately uses the expression children's conditions, it cannot be interpreted differently than that she wants to draw attention to the fact that the royal house, and therefore the crown princess, must be aware of what is for some values that you stand for on the outside. Margrethe stripped her grandchildren's titles in a bid to slim down the monarchy image, Getty Images. Meanwhile, as tensions ripple through the royal family, Margrethe continues to carry out her constitutional duties. On Tuesday, the monarch attended the state opening of Parliament at Christiansborg Palace in Copenhagen with Crown Prince Frederik, Crown Princess Mary and sister Princess Benedict. The Queen has reportedly avoided questions from the press about her decision to strip her grandchildren's titles and stayed silent at the opening of Parliament, known as Folketing, and again when she walked into Christiansborg's palace for another engagement later in the day. It comes after her official statement, issued by the palace on Monday, which read, "In recent days, there have been strong reactions to my decision about the future use of titles for Prince Joachim's 4 children. That affects me, of course. My decision has been a long time coming. With my 50 years on the throne, it is natural both to look back and to look ahead. It is my duty and my desire as Queen to ensure that the monarchy always shapes itself in keeping with the times. Sometimes, this means that difficult decisions must be made, and it will always be difficult to find